Hi friends, just a couple of things here that I want to, that's editing me, hi. I just finished editing the whole video. I just want to preface a couple of things here because I realized that a lot of people might watch this who have never watched me or my channel before. And sometimes I forget that. So I want to make it very clear. In this video, I definitely use the term cancel culture in a little bit of a mocking way. And I want to explain that because I'm not saying cancel culture doesn't exist. And if you know me and you've watched my channel, you know that I am not a fan of cancel culture because I see cancel culture as viciously attacking people, insulting their appearance, insulting their weight, nitpicking parts of their life that they can't control, nitpicking parts of their life that seem really silly to nitpick, like really viciously just continually attacking somebody despite the fact that they've owned up to their mistakes and moved on. But I will say, and if you've watched my channel, you know, I'm a very big fan of holding people accountable culture. That's what I like to call it, accountability culture. I very much believe that if you have a massive platform and you screw up, you should be held accountable for it. I'm very big on apologies that are genuine and all of these other things. So in no way am I trying to say that cancel culture doesn't exist, because it does. But I think that YouTubers in particular, and honestly just public figures in general, I think they really like to combine and twist the two. They like to combine and twist cancel culture versus holding them accountable. They like to mix them together, and they like to use the really excessive hate they get as a shield to actually being held accountable. They use cancel culture as this excuse for why we shouldn't be holding people accountable. And I personally think that's bullshit. So knowing that context, I wanted you guys to understand that before watching this video, because I think it helps make the video make a little bit more sense, if that makes sense. And I think that was every note that I had. Also, the lighting in this video gets better at 1 minute and 30 seconds in. I'm so sorry it was so bad. I forgot that I have a normal light in this room too. So that's it for me. I hope you guys like this video. Thank you.
Hi friends, hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. So let's jump right into this one because there's a lot to be said. We're back to my for if you're new here, this isn't my normal lighting, but I get headaches. I filmed 3 videos today. I just need to do this. So if you would like nicer lighting, come to my other videos. So today's video, we're gonna be talking about Jenna Marbles leaving YouTube. And frankly, I have a lot to say about this situation, not even about Jenna Marbles. Before you dislike this video thinking that I'm gonna be crapping on Jenna Marbles, I implore you to watch it because I'm not. I actually freaking love her. I'm a huge fan, have always been a fan like everybody else on YouTube. So this is not a give Jenna Marbles crap video. This is everybody in the YouTube community who is consistently problematic and is consistently doing things needs to shut up and actually learn from her instead. Can you tell I'm a little heated? If you don't know, Jenna Marbles uploaded a video to YouTube today, the day I'm filming this, and basically in that video she talked about and addressed and apologized for some old problematic videos that she had on her channel. I don't know exactly what the videos were because she only showed clips for some of them, but for example, one was she's wearing a pink wig and her skin is very dark and she's pretending to be Nicki Minaj. In the other one, she's mocking the Asian community. In another one, she talks about her kind of sexism and her internalized misogyny that she was exuding. And I know for a fact there's a ton of other videos of Jenna Marbles doing problematic stuff from the early 2010s. We all know, if you've been around and you're old enough, that those exist. I guess if you're newer to YouTube and you don't really know her or whatever, you wouldn't know. So then during that video, she apologizes for all of those things. She also very briefly mentions how some people have been sort of giving her, a little bit of grief for the people that she's friends with. And what I'm going to assume that is her posting that she received the Shane and Jeffree collab. People getting upset with her for promoting that collab with everything going on with Shane and Jeffree and for kind of associating with them and being friends with them, particularly Shane. I know she's friends with Shane, so I can imagine she was probably getting a lot of hate for that as well. She basically ended the video by saying that she is going to be leaving YouTube for the time being, and she doesn't know if she'll be back, but she's leaving her particular Jenna Marbles channel because number one, she doesn't really like what it represents. She doesn't like that there was ever any content on that channel that hurt anybody in any sort of way. She doesn't like that. And she also expressed that she felt like she wasn't having fun anymore. It's really important to note here, I think, that the underlying message of Jenna's video was not her being upset that she had to apologize, was not her saying she was being canceled, was not her saying and making excuses for things that she had done and why she did them. That's not what that video was about. And frankly, before any of this even got posted by Jenna, Jenna was by no means being canceled on the internet before all of this got posted. I guarantee that she probably got a few tweets about her old problematic videos, but there were no drama channel videos being made. There was not people talking about it. This completely blindsided like 99% of the internet. So there was no like massive thing happening where she was getting canceled and then she had to make this video. That's not how this went down. Literally no one was talking about this, like honestly, until she posted this video. And that's important to note for later. But honestly, overall, the entire video, I really commend her. I've known about Jenna's problematic content and I say problematic because getting very memed, but I've known about her more not so great content for a long time. I probably watched it when I was a kid because I remember I watched Jenna Marbles when I was a kid. But unlike some of her other counterparts who also were creating content during that time frame, Jenna Marbles has genuinely shown growth and shown that she is changing, shown over time with her content that she doesn't want to make jokes, she doesn't want to offend people, she doesn't want to use shock humor. She's able to be funny while still not offending people and not being outwardly mean to people, which is something a lot of people struggle with. The only jokes she makes at the expense of others is herself and her boyfriend. And I think that's why Jenna has been able to evade a lot of criticism that a lot of other people who were creating content at the same time did face, like Shane Dawson. We're seeing all of these other people facing criticism for the actions they did, and Jenna Marbles has never really faced that same type of criticism. She is pretty much wholeheartedly loved and beloved by the YouTube community. And honestly, I think her actual apology video was very well done. I thought she did a good job showing exactly what people were upset about in clips, didn't make excuses, didn't say there was like a reason for it, didn't sob hysterically. Like, it was literally just like, this is what it is and it's messed up. Period. That's all she said. And then she literally said that she expects content creators that she supports to hold themselves accountable, so she wants to hold herself accountable. And this is where I get frustrated, is because I went on Twitter, and the second I saw this video, first of all, as like a fan of Jenna Marbles, I am sad that she's leaving. I'm sad that there's not going to be weekly content from her. She is genuinely a person that I enjoy waiting for weekly content. I watch every single one of her videos, regardless of what they are. I genuinely love Jenna, as I think a lot of people do. But on the flip side, I have to really commend her because she's not just talking the talk. She's not just saying, oh, I said problematic stuff, get over it and support me regardless. She is literally saying that she wants to hold herself accountable and hold herself to a high standard and remove herself from a channel where she has done and said offensive things. She didn't even get canceled. She literally canceled herself. I never would have known about those videos she talked about had she not posted them in that video. She canceled herself before anyone else could, and you want to know why? It's because she's genuinely grown and she's genuinely a good person. What her video displayed is what actual growth, change, and being a good person represents, and it is what 90% of all of these problematic gurus lack. Because I go on Twitter and I see just this whole, all these YouTubers being like, Jenna Marble, you and your cancel culture, you guys all suck. You ran Jenna Marbles off of YouTube. It was like she had a gun pointed at her head because you guys are so terrible and you just attacked her. Poor innocent Queen Jenna, who never has done anything wrong, which, okay, she has. Let's start there. There's this huge rhetoric that Jenna Marbles had nothing to apologize for. That's not true. She did do messed up stuff. Whether you love her now and think she is literally Queen Elizabeth status, like, that's fine. She did things that were screwed up. She did things that today, and even back then, were not acceptable and not okay. She did things that were racist. And I've seen videos where she has done things and said things that were incredibly misogynistic. And she has admitted to those things. And she's not sitting there saying, oh, I shouldn't have to apologize for these things because I've obviously changed. No, you still have to apologize. You still have to say, I'm sorry for doing those things when they offend people. At least I think if you're a good person, you would still want to do that. If you genuinely felt bad about those things. So that's the first thing I'm seeing from the YouTube community is like, fuck you guys, your cancel culture. If you're one of those people that's like, hey, can we not try to bash people for things they did 10 years ago? Can we try to not tear people's careers apart for things they did 10 years ago? Can we not be doing that? You're not listening to the point of Jenna's video. Her entire point, and this is what mind blows me, they're twisting her narrative already to fit their own. The people who are saying that are the people that don't want to genuinely apologize for the stuff that they've done, who don't want to sit there and actually be held accountable for their actions. Because Jenna Marbles didn't need other people to hold her accountable. She held herself accountable. She's better than all of you, okay? I know for a fact that these YouTubers are going to use this as momentum to like fuel that cancel culture is so evil. She is going to be the example for all of these people. Look at Jenna Marbles. Look what you all did to her by canceling her. Look what you're doing to me. You're gonna run me off the internet like Jenna Marbles. When 90% of these people will never leave YouTube because they are incredibly narcissistic. Like, that's why they're on the internet in the first place. And frankly, I think it's really naive to say that the only reason Jenna Marbles is saying she's gonna leave her channel, which she didn't say permanently, but she's pretty much saying she's done. I think it's pretty naive to say that the only reason she's doing that is because people are asking her to apologize. I think it's very obvious if you've been a viewer for a long time that while her content has still been amazing and entertaining because she's Jenna, she's obviously not had her heart completely in YouTube lately. And that's probably for a lot of different reasons. One of them probably being that she's been doing it for 10 years and she's probably just getting a little sick of it. Doing any job for 10 years would make you a little bit sick of it. The thing that also drives me nutty about this whole situation is, like, besides the fact that it is sad that she's leaving, but also the fact that these influencers are already twisting it. Because they're gonna tweet today, Jenna Marbles, I learned so much from her. I love her. It's so sad that you evil internet people just tore her off the internet, which is literally not what happened. And then the next time that they get in some, you know what they're gonna do? They're not gonna look to their queen Jenna Marbles, who they idolize so much. They're gonna make a Notes app apology, or they're gonna make an Instagram live, and they're gonna cry, and they're gonna pretend they're so sorry, and then there's gonna be actual no real change from them. She did the one thing that none of these YouTubers could ever do, and that is actually hold herself accountable. Actually look in the mirror and say, I'm not okay with the actions that I did, and I'm not okay with this channel representing me anymore. And actually putting her money, her income, she's putting all of that where her mouth is, and she's saying, I'm going to hold myself to a higher standard because she's better than all of these other creators, which is what we've always said. Saddest part is like, truly, I don't think that Jenna needed to leave YouTube. I don't think she like needed to go. I don't think so. Problem is that, and what I'm learning from this whole experience is not that cancel culture is so bad. It's that the people we're trying to hold accountable, the only people we're ever going to really succeed with holding accountable are people who are truly good in their hearts already. Because she's doing exactly, like, there are so many other people who should be off of this platform right now. Jeffree Star, Tana Moja, like, there's so many people who do horrible things time and time again, and all they can give us is a freaking Notes app apology on Twitter, barely owning up to anything and riddled with excuses. That's all they can give people. And you want to know why? It's because they haven't actually grown. They haven't actually changed. They haven't actually developed. They are the ones who still make jokes about their scandals and talk about how every time they say something, ooh, is this gonna be another scandal? They're the ones who do things like that. And that's where life and the world just feels so incredibly unfair, is that it's like the good people who you genuinely are like, yeah, I think you have changed from this. I think you have grown. They're gonna hold themselves to a higher standard and hold themselves more accountable than these crappy people ever will. The people who are constantly in drama and never seem to learn are going to continue to make jokes and belittle, while people who are actually good and who have actually changed seem to be the only ones facing the repercussions. I truly hope that if you are one of those people about cancel culture in the name of Jenna Marbles, that you instead sit down, shut up, listen to the people that are trying to hold you accountable, and take notes on how she handled this situation. Stop writing tweets about her like she's dead and this is her eulogy, and start listening to the point of the video. The point was not, oh, poor me, I'm a victim. The point was, listen to people, listen to communities that you've affected, and correctly apologize. That was the point. And all of you missed that because that doesn't serve the narrative that you want. That doesn't serve the narrative that you guys are being unfairly targeted. That doesn't serve that. Her actually just taking accountability and being a good person and listening to people who are trying to hold her accountable, that doesn't serve the narrative that you guys want. So it has to be she was forced off of YouTube. She was pushed. Jenna Marbles made a choice. And do I think it was the right choice? It was her choice. I'm not going to sit here and cry and wish that she stayed, because I think she did what was best for her. I think she made the choice that was best for her. But it sucks that the people who are genuinely good on this platform end up having to be the ones that hold themselves accountable the most because they're genuinely the best. And the people who are so evil just keep getting to do whatever they're doing with their millions and millions and millions of followers and billions of dollars and mansions and cars. Like it sucks. I want to end with this Twitter thread from Hank Green. I saw this on Twitter and I just really liked what he said. I thought it was really good. He said, "I really strongly believe that we should be judged not by how we acted when we were ignorant, but how we responded when we were informed. By that measure, Jenna Marbles is head and shoulders beyond a great many YouTubers. I think it's vitally important that we tell creators when they are doing harm, and I have watched some creators react to that by listening and changing, while others have cried a bit in an apology video and then gone right back to making stuff that hurts people. Jenna has always been in the first group, and I've always really admired that. She found ways to stay true to her comedy and her community while taking out the parts of what she did that caused harm and stayed funny the whole time. I was very grateful for her example, and honestly, I am too." I genuinely feel like she has written the book on how to still be a good person and a good YouTuber at the same time. Because apparently that is difficult. Apparently, because we keep having all these problems. Apparently it is hard for people to be good content creators while also being good human beings who deserve a platform. So I really hope that instead of bringing up Jenna Marbles' departure from YouTube as a way to deflect criticism from yourself, that you instead watch her video, take notes, and learn how to be a decent human being like she is. Go register to vote, please. Thank you. Bye.